Welcome back to the channel. It's theBoom-BapHistorian, and this is a fun one because it's always fun when the MCs that I grew up with in the late 80s, 90s are putting out music today. We've already seen, Snoop Dogg put out a record, last year. Cube put out a record. And there's a list of some MCs like Slick Rick looking to come out with new albums, particularly as they put out through Nas's label. And here we are in 2025, and we get a new album from West Coast lyricist, icon, legend, Xzibit with Kingmaker. I already knew I was going to enjoy this project. I think Xzibit is one of the dopest, not just MCs, from the West Coast, especially lyricism-wise. But you can make that argument throughout hip-hop. The dude is a phenomenal lyricist. I think often a lot of lyricists from the West Coast get overlooked because they are from the West Coast, compared to some of the lyrical giants or the greats, from the 90s. But he was definitely in there with his projects. And here he is getting back together with Dre, and it just seems like Snoop kind of revitalized his music career. Still haven't gotten to the new Snoop record, but I listened to Missionary, but not the newest one. But it's so good to see these. It's refreshing to see these artists can kind of revitalized or revigorated or re-energized. And so he comes out and he releases Kingmaker on 5/16/2025, and I quickly was ready to dive in that project at 9 p.m. when it was released, and I enjoyed this project, man. This was a great album from beginning to end. A little lengthy, but hey, when you've been away from hip hop so long, maybe you just come out the box and release a long record, or maybe you do a double album. But Kingmaker was an absolutely fantastic album. Normally I don't check out singles prior to an album release, but I did, and this was a great album, man. I enjoyed every aspect of this album. Great lyricism as usual, very dope production. I don't know the production credits for every track because I have not seen liner notes or anything like that. But Xzibit, Kingmaker, solid album. 4 mics is what I rate this. It has high replay value. It's a great album. So we just go ahead and get into it because there are a lot of tracks on this album. There's definitely a lot of features. And as usual, I'll mention the tracks that I enjoyed. So it starts off with Play This at My Funeral, which is a super dope song. And it was one of the lead singles that was released prior to the album being released. Everywhere I Go, featuring Dem Joints. Been a Long Time Part 2 featuring Jen M. The Moment featuring Busta Rhymes and Jason Martin. Can't hate any track that has the legendary Busta Rhymes on it. Earth Is Over, Leave Me Alone featuring Dr. Dre and Ty Dolla $ign. Belly of the Beast is a really dope track featuring Jason Martin. History, Genesis, Perfect Alibi featuring Stallone. American Idols featuring Simba. Crash featuring Royce da 5'9" and KAAN. I dig that track. I've always been a fan of Royce, and KAAN has been putting out some really dope projects over the last couple years. Full of Love featuring Ice Cube and Loren Chia. A dope song. Again, when you have Cube on it, come on. I mean, you got two icons, Xzibit and Cube on the same track. Shut Your Mouth, I believe, was another single that was released prior to the album featuring Compton AV and Butch Cassidy. The really dope collaboration featuring Redman and Be Real with Higher Success. And then another dope collab. And again, maybe I'm a little bit biased because these guys are all from the late 80s and the 90s, but he did a track with King T and Cold 187 from Above the Law with Notified. What You Like featuring Guap Dad 4000 and Dago Fats. End of Day featuring Trey Capital, Domo Genesis, and Adi Bako. And then it finishes with Kingmaker. Just a great album, man. Despite the track listing, I think there's definitely some high replay value in this. It's a solid project. I enjoyed it. Call me biased. Call me whatever you want. I don't care. This is a West Coast legend making an extremely important hip-hop record in 2025, besides the fact saying, hey, the artists of yesterday are still alive, still kicking, we still can put out dope music, we still can compete, and this is an example, putting out a really dope project with high replay value. So shout out to Xzibit, Kingmaker, 4 mics, as usual. check out this project. Let me know what you think. Like, subscribe. Uploads coming for some projects that I reviewed that had no audio, and some other reviews coming out for some of the new shit that dropped. So as always, salute and stay tuned.